What a nasty close to the stock market today, guys. It was ugly. We were at one point almost green. I think, yeah, we actually were green at one point. And then in the end of the day, literally in the last roughly, I think, hour, 40 minutes, not even, markets collapsed. We had the Russell close down 1.2%, NASDAQ down 0.6%, the S&P down 0.75%, as the Dow actually was the second worst index today. It went down 0.9%. And we had the metals up, the VIX went up. So it was not the best day at all for the bulls today. And if I sound a little bit under the weather, guys, I'm not sick or crazy sick or anything like that, but my throat is, I might be coming down with the sickness. Let's put it that way. My throat is itching me a little bit. I got my tea right here, which if I have tea, guys, if I have hot tea, I'm not feeling 100%. So keep that in mind. If I sound like crap, that is why. And typically you guys know me, I'm an iced coffee guy, and I never really drink hot beverages. But right now we're rocking with this fruity tea. And actually, let me get a little sip of this right now. If you all find value, hit that like button, subscribe. I appreciate you all. As always, cheers. And let's just get into it. So again, markets did not do well, and I actually really like this. I should drink tea. I don't know why I'm not drinking tea every day. Isn't tea good for you guys? I mean, it depends on what kind of tea you're drinking. I'm not by any means a tea expert, so if you guys know about tea, let me know in the comments. This is actually really good. Wow, I actually really like that. Either way, where was I? So markets did not do well whatsoever today, and a lot of that came in the last 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You guys can see it right here. SPY went from about 396 down, almost 390. It almost fell under 393. So it fell down 0.75%, essentially the entire red, or rather the entire 0.75% that it fell on the day. That came in the last 40 minutes. I mean, the last 40 minutes, it was rough. I mean, we've seen worse, but, today it was no picnic, right? So this thing fell 0.75% into the close, and look at where it closed, guys, right above 392. So the bulls are not completely screwed yet. But if we pull the 20-day chart up, one thing that's a little bit alarming to me right now is the fact that, look at this, we ended up failing, at least today and really the entire week, right under the 180 SMA on this time frame, which puts this at a potential it is a lower high at this point, and it makes it very vulnerable to fall here, or this is, what am I trying to get at? What I'm trying to get at is this is clear as day, being dominated by the bears in the short term, right? We can see, I mean, it's actually a descending triangle, right? It's a descending triangle, and the way that these play out is they ultimately end up dumping. Let's just put it that way. If this falls under 390, which I've been talking about a lot on the channel, descending triangle plays out, we see a massive leg down. And unfortunately, for the bulls, that is, today and really the entire week, the fact that we failed to get out of 398,400, that put us at a lower high. Now we're very vulnerable for that leg down and for the descending triangle to play out. So, yeah, that's one thing that I'm just seeing right now as markets close today and, as we wrapped up the week. That's really not a good sign for the bulls, but we'll see. Anything's possible. Next week, we have the CPI data coming out. That's going to be massive for the stock market. And, of course, the entire, everything, really. The Fed's decisions, the Fed, what they're going to do with rates, all that stuff. It's going to be important. Next week's going to be important. So we shall see how it plays out. And when it comes to triple Q, let me pull this up real quick and take a sip of this tea again. Cheers, guys. I'm pretty much seeing the same thing, right? And actually, wait a second. Do we have a head and shoulders here as well? So, yeah, we have a head and shoulders right here. You guys see that, right? And we're also failing at a lower high, right around 286. We failed this week, which clearly, if I zoom in, that's a lower high. A couple weeks ago, or not even weeks, a couple days ago, we were at 292, 295, right? So we failed not only at a lower high here under the 180 SMA on the 1 hour chart, but we also have a head and shoulders playing out. That is not favorable at all for the bulls, and it's in the same situation as SPY. Bulls are holding on by a thread above a certain level on this ETF, Triple Q, which tracks the NASDAQ. It's holding 278. If that gives, it's going to fall probably another couple bucks. The gap would be down, in my eyes, lower 270s, 272, 273. So What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, as always. And what a monstrous day for silver today. Oh my God. Silver went up another 1.9%, and it took the highs out. With today's move, it took the highs out from the beginning of this month, just 5 days ago. Mind you, the bulls have just been on fire on silver. Not to toot my own horn, guys, but have I not been calling that out? I mean, I've been calling that out on the channel. So silver continuing the massive move. Took the highs out from the beginning of this month. Those highs were at about 23.60. Now we hit almost 24 an ounce, and it looks like the bulls are just not letting up. It doesn't look like they want to let up anytime soon. And if we pull up the 4-hour chart, what do we have here, which I also talked about? We have an inverse head and shoulders. If we're looking at the broader chart, I mean, this is, spanning months and months, right, guys? We have this inverse head and shoulders, clear as day. And, where does this right shoulder end? If this plays out beautifully, which who knows if it does, but where does it end? $26, $26.50 an ounce. That's where this could be going. And granted, there's going to be pullbacks between, but, bulls are still 100% in charge here, in my eyes. And we have the 3-year chart. We're clearly breaking out of the moving averages. And one thing, to play devil's advocate here, if we zoom in a little bit, you could argue silver is in a downwards channel, and this is just, a little relief rally in the channel. But the fact that we're taking moving averages out now, we're starting to rip on the 4-hour time frame. I think it's only a matter of time we start breaking this channel as well. And time will tell. I could be wrong, but time will tell. And, it's right around, we're testing it right now, 24, 25 an ounce. Really, these next couple of bucks on silver, on the upside here, 24, 25, 26, it's going to be huge. If bulls could get out of there, we have a lot of upside to go. And, I'm watching this 3-year chart very heavily, and I'm watching the 4-hour as well. So what do you guys think? are you with me on that? I really think silver has more to go, and gold for that matter as well. Gold right now is at 1810, 18, it's right around 1820. That was the high from the beginning of August. You guys see that also from the beginning of this month. So if we take 1820 out, we're right at 1810 now. We're going to start breaking on gold. So metals are setting up. I can't say it enough, but I've been saying it a lot on the channel. I'm going to say it again. They're setting up beautifully. And I think, gold is lagging a bit, obviously. It's clear as day that it's lagging a bit behind silver. But still, it's up. If you're looking at the gold chart in the past month, gold's up $200 an ounce. That's incredible performance for gold. It's up about 195 to be exact, 12%. So it is lagging, but that's how it is anyway. It's always how it's been. Silver, silver, it's always been more volatile. There's always, bigger moves in silver. That's just how it is. The market cap is not as big as gold. But we're not going to dive into the metals rabbit hole in this video, but that's a little update on the markets, metals. Let's see here, oil. Let's pull up oil and see where that closed today, or where that's trading. Oh my goodness, it hit $70.08 a barrel. What a disaster. So honestly, guys, in the short term, expect a relief rally. We don't know for sure what's going to happen, but if this goes under 70, 68, 69, possible. Look at what happened last time we got very oversold. This was back in the end of November. We had a little relief rally from 74 an ounce to about 80, or not an ounce, a barrel to about 83 a barrel. That was about a 12% rally. So we're in oversold territory. In fact, I'm already seeing a little bit of a bullish divergence on the chart here. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Let me move move my face a little bit. You can see the RSI, right? A little bit of a bullish divergence. So if we do end up seeing a pop, let's say back over 73 a barrel, I'm expecting a little bit of a relief rally, maybe towards 78, 80. But then you got to realize, guys, the downtrend is still intact. Sellers might be coming in again. And for all we know, this could dump even further, at least for now. That's how the chart looks like to me. So that's a quick breakdown on oil, the metals, the markets really quickly. Now let's run through some stocks and see what's going on. Today we already talked about Chewy earlier. Chewy had a great day, 4% green day. If this breaks 46, we have way more upside in my opinion. Tesla's another one, TSLA, 3.2%, $179 is where it's at. but still in a downtrend, and we're already seeing a red candle forming under the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. That's not good for the bulls, and we can see some, lower high action. This looks a little bit toppy, I'm not going to lie, on the intraday chart. We have a bit of a descending triangle. You guys see that, right? Lower highs, but we've held 178 throughout the latter half of the day. But if this breaks on Tesla, which is 100% possible at some point next week, this could be going back to the low mid 170s like that. Believe me, I'm not being a hater or doomsdayer. All I'm saying is my thoughts, right? And for my experience, watching stocks for years at this point, every single day, I'm charting stocks every single day. It looks like it's setting up for a dump to me. And now that I'm popping this 20-day chart up, my goodness, what do you see here? Inverse head and shoulders, or not inverse, regular head and shoulders. This could easily come down again to that 170, maybe under 170 mark. So keep that in mind for Tesla. And again, let me get a little sip of this tea. This actually is really freaking good stuff right here, guys. And my throat feels better just for me, drinking this right now. I mean, it's like I've discovered some brand new thing, right, guys? Obviously, it's not brand new, but to me, it's like, holy crap. I mean, this thing it's like a magic formula when your throat's hurting a little bit. Drink a little tea, make a video, you're gonna be good. Let me actually get a little bit more. Hold on. Man, that stuff's good. So yeah. What else? I mean, big tech today. Let's see what big tech did. Meta went up 0.5%. Boring day. I mean, nothing really crazy there. Activision, which you guys probably heard the news at this point. The FTC is looking to block the Microsoft Activision, merger, right? Or buyout, whatever you want to call it. I mean, Microsoft, this happened almost a year ago at this point. It was in the beginning of last year. They put a bid to buy them for like 68 point something billion dollars, which is crazy. Now they're trying to block it because of competition issues, between, and there's a lot going on right now with that, guys. I mean, we could talk on and on about Activision and Microsoft mergers. I mean, if it were up to me, I mean, it's a free market, but then again, you have to realize, to play devil's advocate, you don't want one or two companies owning everything at the end of the day. So I could see where they're coming from. But then again, I mean, Microsoft, it's capitalism, right? If they have the money to buy a company, they should be able to do that. So I could see both sides of the coin. If it were up to me, I would have let the deal go through. I'm being 100% honest, but who knows if it even does? And the way people are looking at Activision now, they're like, it's at 75 a share. They got bought out at like 90 something. I forget exactly. People might gamble or, speculate, the deal's going to go through. And in that case, they're going to make that spread. They're going to make some money. The shares are going to rally, So I don't know. That's how people are looking at it. I'm not in Activision right now. I owned it. Actually, funny enough, right before the news came out, that was a really lucky moment to be in the stock. I think I bought it a couple of days prior to the news coming out, and I made a ton of money in a couple of days. I think my return percentage-wise was like 50-something%. I mean, I bought it at like $50, something like that. Activision, that is, and sold it in the 70s. So, I mean, it was a big move, and it's people are speculating right now that are they going to get bought? Are they not? So we'll see. There's going to be a lot of movement in the stock for sure over the next couple of weeks as this unfolds. So I'm watching Activision, watching Microsoft. Let me pull up Microsoft. And of course, if we're looking at the stocks, guys, which stock's going to suffer more if this doesn't go through? Activision, 100%. I mean, Activision stock will probably fall through the floor if this deal does not go through. I mean, before the deal, the stock was $55 a share. Maybe it doesn't go back to $55. You can see it right here. Maybe it doesn't go. Well, I think I actually owned it. Maybe I didn't own it at $50 exactly. Maybe I owned it at like 50. Either way, I mean, I made a ton of money on it. I forget. It was like almost a year. Yeah, about a year ago. Either way, Activision Blizzard was $55, $60 a share before the merger or the buyout offer, right? It's probably going to go back down to that point. Or maybe not 55, 60, maybe 65. I mean, maybe it goes down $10, maybe a little bit more, 60, or maybe it does go back to the 50s. Who the heck knows? But you have to realize there's more to lose in Activision than Microsoft. I mean, they're both going to do well, in my opinion, these companies, whether they're together under one umbrella, separate. But the stock price in the short term, Activision has more to lose if the deal does not go through. So let's see what else ended up moving today. Let's do a quick little rundown on big tech, and let's just end off the video, guys. I appreciate you all for tuning in. If you haven't gotten your 20 stocks for Moomoo yet, use that link down below. Deposit at least $100, and you could get up to 20 stocks, each up to $2,000. And they just upped the ante, guys. It was 15. Now it's up to 20 stocks. So best offer right now in the new brokerage game where they have the referrals like Webull. What's the other one? Moomoo, right? Which is the offer for this promotion. M1 Finance. These are all over the place. But right now, Moomoo is the best offer. Take it if you want it. It also helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. Let's run through big tech. Apple went down 0.3% on the day today. Nothing crazy. It looks like it's still trying to figure its way out. What it's going to do here. Is the inverse head and shoulders going to play out? Are we going to dump under $135, $130, start seeing a bit of a sell-off? What's going to happen there? That's kind of what people are waiting for. Amazon does not look good. Remember the descending triangle I talked about before? Well, we see one here on Amazon as well. You guys see that, right? This could easily dump to the low 80s, 70s. If things get ugly throughout the course of December, January, this could probably see a dump off. Honestly, it could probably start selling off towards the 70s, which, I mean, at that point, would that be a multi-year low? I don't even know. Well, now we're actually at the lows that we were at in March of 2020. Think about that, guys. March of 2020, before the pandemic, or I guess when it started. Well, I guess it started in like December, January, started creeping up. But when SHIT got real, right? I'm not going to cuss, but you know what I mean. When it got real, Amazon was $80 a share. That was during the COVID crash. And then it went all the way to $190. Now it's back to $80 a share. So all of that value has been lost. That is insane. I know I saw that before, but now I'm remembering this or realizing this, and that is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And if we pull up the max chart, now we're dealing with, if we break $80, which was that COVID low, if we're dealing with, if that point breaks, we're talking mid 60s, low 70s. I mean, this is where Amazon could be going. You can see here back. Oops, I almost knocked the freaking tea over. Oh, you guys saw that, right? Oops, almost did that. But you can see here before COVID, the COVID crash, the low in 2018 was right around 65. Heading into 2019, it was right around 65, high 60s, low 70s. So that's where this could be going. And if that were to break, man, it could get ugly, way uglier from there. But obviously, Amazon's a great company. Massive company. They're not going anywhere. Their stock just got way too overvalued. It got way too hot, way too quickly. It was on a bubble from the pandemic, and now all that value has been lost. And now the way I look at it is, okay, all that value has been lost. The business is bigger now. It is more valuable now, but, well, not the value is lost. Well, I guess the market cap value has been lost, but the business is still valuable, more valuable than it was 2 years ago. If we're looking at, revenue and all that stuff, right? I got to dive into the income statement, all that stuff to give a more in-depth explanation, but bear with me here, guys. All of that is, much better. Now the price is starting to come down lower than where it was, March crash. We're starting to get to a point where I'm not going to say we're undervalued here, but if we start taking out the March low, we're way more valuable now as a business than we were back then. We start getting to that 60, 50 mark. Now we're building a margin of safety. I think buying this with a margin of safety would be anywhere from, I ran the numbers like a week and a half ago. I got to go back and look. But anywhere from $50 to $55 based on, my assumptions. But I don't know. Is it going to get there? Is it going to get to $60? I don't know. Probably not unless things get really ugly. But then again, they might get ugly. You never know. You really do never know, what's going to happen here after December. I mean, I feel like January, February, depending on a lot of the data that's going to come out, they could be rough months. We have to wait and see. Kind of after the Santa Claus rally or whatever you want to call it, that we kind of might have already gotten it a bit early. But Either way, Amazon watching it very heavily. Microsoft, we just talked about Microsoft. This is, inverse head and shoulders, kind of like Apple. Google today went to $93. So Google's actually creeping down towards the low 90. I mean, it's already low 90s now. I feel like it could go under the 90 mark. And at that point, guys, I mean, look at what happened this week. We broke under the moving averages. At that point, if it goes under 90, I'm going to be looking to buy and add to my position. And I'm not going to rush into it, at 88 or 89. But if it starts creeping down towards the low of $83, breaks that low, I'm going to be looking to buy even more. So, that's it. I'm going to wrap the video up, guys. We're about 20 minutes in. And surprisingly, my throat was hurting about 30 minutes ago, which is so weird. I've been drinking this tea throughout the video. It doesn't hurt that much anymore. What the heck? This stuff is like magic. Wait a second. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I appreciate you all for being here. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. If you want some free stocks, check the Moomoo link, up to 20 stocks from Moomoo, and you can get 12 stocks from Webull. All the details are linked down below. Feel free to check out my Patreon as well and my second channel, Stocks Talks Money. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.